And with so much to break down from the first SMX race, let's bring in our king of the calculator, statistician Clinton Fowler. I got to believe the top story here from a numbers perspective is Chase Sexton getting back on top like he was in Monster Energy Supercross. And I'm not sure this win streak was supposed to carry over for Jett Lawrence because it's a different series, but it didn't. So what did you see in the data between these two?
Yeah, absolutely, Weege. It feels like Chase Sexton used the Jett Lawrence Pro Motocross script to win playoff round number one. He got a great start. He put down some blistering fast laps, and then he managed the lead. So I think the most impressive thing, 5 of the 6 fastest laps of the race were set by Sexton. And then JT, the truly impressive thing is that for the last 11 laps, he only set 1 of those as the fastest, and he just managed the race. And so clearly we saw a different Chase Sexton at round 1 of the playoffs. I just don't know how he did it, JT.
Well, this was a kind of a flashback to what we saw at certain rounds of Monster Energy Supercross. You know, I go back and think about when he got out front, when he was comfortable, he would set the fastest laps early. He would get a lead that was sustainable and just manage the race from there. And it felt like that. Now, the difference is he was never able to do that to Jett Lawrence during Pro Motocross, right? At times he was able to set a faster lap time, but it was Jett who was in race management mode. He would be able to hold Chase off and do what was needed. So it was a fundamental shift in what we've seen. Now the question is, was it a different venue? Was it a different mindset shift because of the Supercross suspension being back on and all those things? And only time will give us that answer. But it was a clear departure from what we had seen over the previous 22 motos.
Okay, and then Moto 2, what do the numbers show there, Clinton?
Yeah, Weege, it was a little bit different in terms of the script, but one thing was consistent. Chase had a speed advantage. We did see Roczen jump out to a great early lead. He set some really great laps in the first 4 laps of the race, but it was the last half of the race that I look at as the most interesting. That's where you had the mano-a-mano battle between Chase Sexton and Jett Lawrence. And the reality is Chase Sexton was fastest in 5 of those last 8 laps. And that turned into a 2.8 second advantage for Chase. And so you just see the speed advantage from Chase throughout the day. That continued in the second moto, which was just super impressive following what we saw in Pro Motocross. And so now, JT, the big question comes, can that translate into the next 2 rounds of the playoffs for Chase? Has he found something that is just going to maintain that advantage over Jett?
Well, I can tell you he's got a lot more confidence now than he did, right? I'm sure he was telling himself all the right things, but he got confirmation of all of that positive reinforcement he was giving himself. And to me, the biggest moment of that second moto was when Jett really turned it up. And I made mention of it on the broadcast. You could see Jett really ramp the intensity, move through the pack because he wanted to get up front and chase Chase down. And Chase said, not so fast. I can match that and better it. It was just a really pivotal moment and maybe a pivotal part of this championship.
Anything else stick out in the data there, Clinton?
Yeah, Weege. I mean, there's 2 other riders I think that are worthy of showing. They might not show up at the top of the podium or on the podium this week, but Jordan Smith, local race for him. He grew up in Belmont, North Carolina, just 15 minutes from the track. He's also missed the entire Pro Motocross season, so he's coming off an injury. Had a bad start in first moto, but he went from 17th to 8th, which was great. But the thing that really stands out for me is he set a fast lap, a top 10 fast lap in each of the motos. I think that really bodes well moving into the next 2 rounds of the playoff. I think we should keep an eye on him. And then the other, you've got to call out rookie rider DeFrancesco. In that second moto, gets his first professional podium, which is impressive. He ends up going 7-3 for 4th overall on the day. So I think that really stands out for me. And he set 3 of the 10 fastest laps of that entire moto in that second moto. So that tells me he's got the speed to hang with these guys up front. So maybe we see something interesting from him in the last 2 rounds. So both Jordan Smith and Ryder DeFrancesco to me stand out as interesting and noteworthy for the weekend.
Yep, and that just could set us up for more surprises coming to Chicagoland. We'll see you there, Clinton.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Looking forward to it.
Okay, we're off to Chicagoland Speedway. Here's how you can watch. It's a return to what we would call a night race format. Peacock and the SuperMotocross Video Pass is the way to watch everything live. It starts at Race Day Live at 2:30 Eastern. Ryan Villapoto, Dan Hubbard giving you the qualifying coverage. We will have a pre-race show at 7:30 Eastern, and we go racing at 8 Eastern. Chicago is Central Time, so if you're a fan there, just keep in mind that the racing actually starts at 7 at the track. We will, however, have an encore on the big network, NBC, at noon Sunday. So that is awesome exposure for the superstars of this sport.
Hi, folks. Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.